Imagine this. You decide today that you'll become 1% better every single day. Just 1%. It doesn't sound like much, right? But if you keep going for 1 year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. That's the power of small, invisible changes. And this is exactly what James Clear's best-selling book, Atomic Habits, is all about. How the tiniest changes in your daily routine can completely transform your life. In today's episode, we're diving deep into Atomic Habits. I'll break it down into powerful, easy-to-understand lessons, share real-world examples, and give you practical tips you can apply immediately. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to break bad habits, build new ones, and create a system that guarantees success.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe one small change in your daily life can actually change your entire future? Most people would laugh and say, "Come on, it's just one tiny habit. It can't make a difference." But that's where they're dead wrong. Think about money for a second. If you save just $1 today, nothing really changes. But if you keep saving and that money compounds, 10 years later, you're sitting on a fortune. Habits work the exact same way. They're the compound interest of self-improvement. Now, picture this. An airplane takes off from Los Angeles, heading to New York, but the pilot adjusts the nose of the plane by just 3 degrees south. 3 degrees! Doesn't even look like a change to the naked eye. But after 5 hours in the air, that tiny shift will land the plane not in New York, but in Washington, D.C., a completely different destination. That's how small habits work. A 1% shift in your daily actions completely changes where you end up in life. And here's the scary part. This works both ways. Good habits will push you towards success, but bad habits, they'll quietly drag you into failure without you even noticing. Skip one workout? No big deal. Order fast food once? No problem. But do it repeatedly over months and years, suddenly your health, your confidence, your entire future has shifted, just like that plane. The truth is, your life today is basically the sum of your habits. Your bank account, your fitness level, your knowledge, even your relationships, all of them are the result of the tiny choices you've been making daily, whether you're aware of it or not. And here's where most people get it wrong. We think success comes from massive action, giant goals, or some big burst of motivation. But James Clear, in Atomic Habits, flips that idea upside down. He says success doesn't come from one big change, it comes from small, consistent habits that compound over time. So if you've ever felt stuck or frustrated because your big goals keep failing, it's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because you're focusing on the wrong thing. The secret is not the goal itself. The secret is building the right habits that carry you there automatically. By the end of this episode, you'll see exactly how to take control of those tiny daily actions, and when you do, trust me, your life will change in ways you can't even imagine. Okay, so now you know why small habits matter. But here's the million-dollar question. Why do most people still fail when they try to change? We all do it, right? January 1st, we write down a bunch of goals. I'm going to lose 10 kilos. I'm going to save $5,000. I'm going to write a book this year. And for a few weeks, we're on fire. Until life happens, motivation dies, and the goals vanish. Why does this happen over and over again? James Clear gives us a mind-blowing answer. It's because we focus on the wrong level of change. See, there are 3 levels of change. Outcomes, the results we want. I want to lose weight. Processes, the actions we take. I'll go to the gym. I'll eat healthy. And identity, what you believe about yourself. I am a healthy person. Most people only focus on outcomes. They chase results. But here's the truth. Outcomes don't last if they don't match your identity. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people who are trying to quit smoking. Someone offers them a cigarette. The first one says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." Sounds good, right? But notice the identity. Deep down, they still see themselves as a smoker who's just forcing themselves not to smoke. The second person says, "No thanks, I don't smoke." Boom, different identity. They're not resisting a cigarette, they've become a non-smoker. The habit sticks because it aligns with who they believe they are. And that's the big shift. Don't just set goals. Don't just change what you do, change what you believe about yourself. Instead of saying, "I want to run a marathon," start saying, "I'm the kind of person who runs every day." Instead of, "I want to write a book," say, "I'm a writer. Writers write." Instead of, "I want to get fit," say, "I'm the kind of person who doesn't miss workouts." Because every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. You're literally reprogramming your brain with every small decision. Think about it. If you go to the gym today, even for 10 minutes, you're casting a vote for the identity of being a fit, healthy person. If you write just one paragraph, you're casting a vote for being a writer. The more votes you collect, the stronger your identity becomes. So the real question isn't, what do I want to achieve? The real question is, who do I want to become? And once you start answering that question, your habits stop being something you force yourself to do. They become who you are.
All right, now that we know habits are about identity, the next question is, how do you actually build habits that stick? James Clear gives us a simple but powerful formula, the 4 laws of behavior change. Think of these laws as a step-by-step guide to creating good habits and breaking bad ones. And I'll warn you, once you see this framework, you'll start noticing it everywhere in your life. Let's dive in. Law 1, make it obvious. Here's the truth. Habits start with cues. A cue is basically a trigger that tells your brain, hey, it's time to do this thing. Example, you walk into your kitchen and see cookies on the counter. Boom, that's a cue. And before you know it, you're eating one. So if you want to build good habits, you need to make the cues visible. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow so you can't go to bed without seeing it. Want to exercise more? Pack your gym bag and leave it at the door where you'll trip over it. And here's a killer strategy, habit stacking. It goes like this. After I blank, I will blank. Example, after I brush my teeth, I'll floss one tooth. After I pour my morning coffee, I'll meditate for 1 minute. Why does this work? Because you're attaching your new habit to something you already do automatically. So remember, if you can't see the cue, you'll never start the habit. Make it obvious. Law 2, make it attractive. Humans don't do what they should do, we do what's attractive. Think about it. Scrolling TikTok feels more attractive than going for a run. Eating pizza feels more attractive than eating salad. So the trick is to make your desired habit more appealing. How? By using temptation bundling. That means pairing something you need to do with something you want to do. Example, only watch Netflix while you're on the treadmill. Only listen to your favorite podcast while cleaning the house. Another hack, surround yourself with people who already do what you want to do. If your friends go to the gym, guess what? You'll naturally want to join in. If your friends are always reading, you'll feel left out if you don't pick up a book. Habits are contagious. Make sure you're catching the right ones.
Law 3. Make it easy. Here's where most people fail. They think success comes from discipline or motivation. Wrong. Success comes from reducing friction. If a habit is hard to do, you won't do it. If it's easy, you'll do it without thinking. Want to eat healthier? Keep fruits washed and ready to eat on the table. Want to stop watching so much TV? Unplug it and remove the batteries from the remote. And then there's the golden rule. the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Want to run every day? Just put on your running shoes. Want to read before bed? Just read 1 page. Want to meditate? Just sit down and breathe for 2 minutes. The point isn't doing it perfectly. The point is to master the art of showing up. Because once you start, momentum takes over. Law 4. Make it satisfying. Here's the psychology. What gets rewarded gets repeated. If a habit feels good, your brain wants to do it again. If it feels bad, your brain avoids it. That's why bad habits like junk food and social media stick, because they give you instant pleasure. So the trick is to make your good habits satisfying. Example, use a habit tracker. Every time you complete a habit, cross it off. That little check mark gives your brain a dopamine hit. Or give yourself a small reward, like enjoying a nice tea after finishing your workout. And to break bad habits, make them unsatisfying. Find an accountability partner. For example, every time you skip the gym, you have to give your friend $20. Trust me, missing the gym suddenly feels a lot less fun. So here's the framework. Make it obvious. Design your environment, use habit stacking. Make it attractive. Temptation bundling, surround yourself with the right people. Make it easy. Remove friction, use the 2-minute rule. Make it satisfying. Reward yourself, track progress, use accountability. Do this and your habits won't just stick, they'll become automatic. But here's the next big question. What about the habits that are destroying us? How do we actually break the bad ones that keep pulling us down? That's exactly what we'll talk about next.
Okay, we've talked about how to build good habits, but what about the bad ones? The late night scrolling, the junk food, the procrastination, the habits that we know are killing our health, our productivity, our dreams, but we keep falling back into them anyway. James Clear has an answer. If the 4 laws of behavior change build good habits, then to break bad habits, you just reverse them. Let me show you how it works. 1. Make it invisible. Habits start with cues. If you don't see the cue, you don't do the habit. Want to eat less junk food? Don't keep chips and cookies in your kitchen. Out of sight, out of mind. Want to stop checking Instagram every 5 minutes? Delete the app from your home screen or log out every time. Environment is everything. If you surround yourself with cues that trigger bad habits, you'll lose. But if you design your environment to hide them, you'll win without even fighting. 2. Make it unattractive. Let's be honest, we keep bad habits because they feel good in the moment. So the trick is to reframe them until they feel disgusting. Example, instead of thinking, smoking relaxes me, reframe it as, smoking is literally making me pay money to destroy my lungs. Instead of, junk food is tasty, tell yourself, this is the reason I feel sluggish and tired all day. Your brain will follow the story you tell it. Make the habit unattractive, and your desire for it starts to fade. 3. Make it difficult. Here's the secret. The harder something is to do, the less likely you'll do it. Want to stop binge watching Netflix? Sign out of your account every episode. Even better, unplug the TV and put the remote in another room. Want to stop scrolling TikTok before bed? Leave your phone charging in the living room, not next to your pillow. By adding friction, you create just enough resistance that your brain will think twice before falling into the habit. 4. Make it unsatisfying. This one is powerful. Remember, what gets rewarded gets repeated. So if a bad habit feels good, you'll repeat it. To break it, you need to make it painful. How? Get an accountability partner. Tell a friend, if I skip the gym this week, I'll pay you $50. Suddenly, skipping the gym isn't satisfying anymore. It's expensive. Or use a habit contract. Write down your habit goals, sign it, and have someone else hold you accountable. When there's a consequence, your brain learns fast. So, here's how you kill bad habits. Make it invisible, remove the cues. Make it unattractive, change the story in your head. Make it difficult, add friction, create barriers. Make it unsatisfying, add accountability and consequences.
All right, so we've covered the theory, but let's be real. Theories don't inspire people. Stories do. So let me share a few powerful real-world examples of how small habits create massive change. Example 1. The 5-minute gym rule. There was a guy who lost over 100 pounds. But here's the twist. When he first started, he made a rule that he was not allowed to stay at the gym for more than 5 minutes. Sounds ridiculous, right? You can't get fit in 5 minutes. But that wasn't the point. His goal wasn't to get fit immediately, it was to become the kind of person who never missed the gym. Once the habit of showing up was automatic, the workouts naturally grew longer. That's the power of the 2-minute rule in action. Start small, build consistency, and results will follow. Example 2. Writers who write 1 sentence a day. Some of the most successful writers in the world didn't start by writing entire novels. They started with 1 sentence a day. Just 1. Why? Because writing a sentence is easy. But once you sit down and start, that 1 sentence often turns into a paragraph, then a page, then a chapter. Tiny daily habits build massive creative output over time. Example 3. The Japanese train system. Here's one I love. In Japan, train operators use a method called pointing and calling. Every time they perform a safety task, checking signals, closing doors, they literally point at it and say it out loud. It sounds strange, but this simple habit reduced mistakes by up to 85% and accidents by 30%. Why? Because it turned an automatic process into a conscious habit. That's the power of habit stacking and making actions obvious. It literally saves lives. Example 4. Big results from small habits in the business world. British cycling was a losing team for over 100 years. Then a new coach, Dave Brailsford, came in with a philosophy called the aggregation of marginal gains. He didn't look for one big fix. Instead, he asked, how can we improve everything by just 1%? They improved nutrition, bike seats, even the pillows athletes slept on. And the result? Within a decade, they dominated the Olympics and Tour de France. All from tiny habits stacked together. So whether it's losing weight, writing a book, running a safer train system, or dominating world sports, the secret was never huge goals or massive changes. It was always about tiny, consistent habits repeated every single day. And that brings us to the final piece of this journey, the ultimate lesson of atomic habits. The one truth that ties everything together and shows you how to take control of your future. So here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And your systems are nothing more than the habits you repeat every single day. Atomic habits isn't about changing your life overnight. It's about tiny, invisible actions. Brushing your teeth, reading a page, saving $1, taking a short walk that compound into massive change over time. Because success isn't built in one huge leap. It's built in the quiet, ordinary moments when no one's watching. So here's my challenge for you. Don't just think about your goals. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Then pick one small habit that aligns with that identity and start today, even if it's just for 2 minutes. Because the habits you choose right now are shaping the person you'll become tomorrow. If this episode inspired you, make sure to hit like, subscribe for more self-growth content, and share this with a friend who needs that extra push. And let me know in the comments, what's the one habit you're going to start today? Remember, small changes don't just add up, they transform you. Make your habits atomic
and your results will be explosive. And now I want to hear from you. What's one small habit you're going to commit to starting today? The habit that your future self will thank you for.